Thank you for tuning in to the Catch a Lift Fund's Coach's Corner podcast. We hope you enjoy today's episode and will consider supporting the Catch a Lift Fund and the veterans we serve. Visit our website for more information about our programs at catchaliftfund.org. If you are experiencing a mental health crisis or suicidal thoughts, please call 988 or the Veterans Crisis Line 988, followed immediately by the number 1. The views and opinions expressed during the Coach's Corner podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of the Catch a Lift Fund. The Catch a Lift Fund does not verify or warrant the truth or accuracy of statements made during the podcast, and statements therein are not to be construed as an official policy or position of the Catch a Lift Fund. This podcast is provided for informational purposes only, and nothing herein should be construed as health, medical, or other professional advice. The Coach's Corner is a place for veterans to connect, heal, and share their stories. I'm Melissa Luke, the host of the Coach's Corner podcast. I am a U.S. Army Iraq War veteran, coach, and program director for the Catch a Lift Fund. The Coach's Corner is sponsored by ID Technologies. Welcome to this week's episode of the Coach's Corner. We're excited to bring you another new episode of Coach's Corner featuring Louis Zaragoza. Louis is a U.S. Army veteran, Cal veteran athlete, and cybersecurity engineer. We're so excited to talk to Louis today about his service and what led him to cybersecurity. Welcome to this week's episode of the Coach's Corner. Louis, welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
It's great to have you today. Very good. Let's jump right into it.
Sure.
Louis, you joined the Army in 1997. Talk to us about your decision to enlist and what drove that.
Well, I wasn't supposed to enlist in the Army, to be honest. I was looking to join the Coast Guard.
Really?
Since I'm from Puerto Rico, so I love the beach. So I went to the Coast Guard recruiting station, and they were closed that day. But the Army was open. So I decided to go into the Army office, and they put you that high-speed video, running around the woods, Humvee, jumping from a plane. So I was like, man, that looks fun. And back then I had a little baby daughter. Okay. Started early. So they offered me a bonus. So they got me. They reeled me in with the bonus, though. But that's how it was. And everybody told me not to join the Army in my family because my dad served, my uncle served. So they told me, hey, if you go into the Army, make sure that you pick something with technology, medical, something like that.
Right.
And I went the other way, of course. So everything they told me came through here and came out through the other side. That's how the story goes.
So what did you end up enlisting as for an MOS?
Well, like I said, my family said, make sure that whatever you do, don't enlist in the Army, or if you do, don't enlist infantry. Everybody was trying to steer me away from the infantry because my dad was in the Vietnam era, my uncle as well. So guess what I did? What's the first thing I did?
Army infantry.
Enlist in the infantry. So it was tough, at the beginning, but I wouldn't regret, I don't regret it.
Yeah.
If I go back in time and have the same life, I'll probably enlist infantry again, just because the brotherhood that you create in a combat unit, it's I don't know, it's just something that you don't see in the civilian life. It's something that lasts forever. It's just really weird to explain, to be honest. The type of love that you have for your brothers, and back then was all male.
Right.
Now you have a mix. You have females as infantry soldiers, but yeah, you create that bond that lasts a lifetime, and until this day, if I need to take a bullet for any of my my brothers out. I'll do it in a heartbeat.
What do you remember most about training up as a young soldier?
Facing the fear of heights.
Okay.
Um, especially during a rappelling training or any type of training um, that you have to be in altitude.
Yeah.
I had a really high fear of altitude, so I remember those first times that I just froze. Just froze. The same thing with me being short. I'm only 5'5", so it was some. I remember some obstacle courses where they have these ladders that as you keep climbing, they keep getting wider and wider and wider. So that thing was the biggest fear,
Oh,
man,
I
for
bet.
me
Yeah.
because you don't have anything. If you fall straight up into the mulch that they had on the in the bottom. There was no netting, no protection. But I would say that was the biggest fear. I had to face that demon face to face and beat it. Um, but after that, everything else was pretty easy. Of course, very physical. But
Right.
once I beat once I slashed that dragon,
Yeah.
I knew that I was able to face any type of adversity.
That's tremendous. Talk to us, if you would, Lewis, about how 9/11 affected your service.
9/11, like every soldier that lived through that era or time frame, it changed everything for the military, for soldiers, airmen, Marines, sailors, Coast Guards. Um, I still remember what I was doing that day. I was in Germany. I was stationed in 118 Infantry in Schweinfurt, Com Barracks, and we were coming back from a field exercise. So we were downloading stuff from the 5-ton truck. And I remember one of the soldiers coming out yelling from the barracks. Just like, hey, New York just got attacked. A plane just crashed in one of the towers. We all ran into his room. We dropped what we were doing and we watched the second plane hitting the second tower live.
Yeah.
But we already knew that something was kind of brewing. Being in the military, they don't directly tell you, at least not in the infantry level. Maybe once you get into a different
Right.
special forces, Delta Force, that kind of stuff. But an infantry unit, they kind of break it to you in a different way. And if you're smart enough, you kind of pick from those things. So we knew that it was something coming down because we were doing a lot of training. That we're talking about painting the Bradleys, which I was a mechanized infantry back then. So the Bradley is like a personal carrier with some big guns
Yep.
and some missiles. So since we were in Germany, we were in a jungle kind of theme. Everything was green, camouflage. So they were talking about painting the the tanks and all the
Really?
equipment, the Humvees and all that stuff into desert.
No kidding. Oh my gosh.
And it was a lot of training. It was a lot of training,
Yeah.
a lot of shooting, a lot of new equipment coming down, a lot of packing, checking inventory, make sure that you had everything. So it was a lot of unusual things that we were doing.
Yeah.
Probably like a month and a half before. So we didn't know 100%, but we knew
Right.
that it was something coming, some type of deployment, some type of something bad in the world was going on, that it was going to change what we were doing at that particular time.
Talk to us about the lead up to the invasion of Iraq. What was that preparation like in that time, right before you would go?
Well, when the wars kind of started, I already PCS from Germany to Fort Carson, Colorado.
Okay.
Again, the momentum that we have from Germany kind of carried over to Fort Carson. And as soon as I got there, they told us, hey, we got to go to NTC, which is in California, National Training Center. And then once we finished NTC, we came back to Garrison. And I think like not even a month, we got orders to deploy.
Okay.
To deploy to Kuwait. It's funny because they put it like that. Yeah, let's deploy to Kuwait. They don't put Iraq.
Yeah,
they
right.
Put Kuwait.
Yep.
So, I mean, we already knew. We knew
Yep.
this was coming. We wanted to go, to be honest. I mean, we were ready. You know, we had that personal, we were all pissed off with everything that was going on. We just wanted to defend, you know, our country.
Yeah, right.
And all the training that we've been doing. And one thing is, when you're training constantly, training, you know, you get to a point where you want to put your skills to test.
Yeah.
So we were excited and scared at the same time, of course. You know, a full-blown war. So after we came back from NTC, we got the orders down and we started packing immediately.
Okay.
So I think from October 2003, to 2002, they kept us like saying like, hey, in 2 weeks we're leaving. In 2 weeks we're leaving. In 2 weeks, but everything kept getting pushed because that's when Turkey said no.
Right.
We were gonna come in through Turkey, and we were gonna meet around Baghdad with the Marines.
Okay.
So, and our equipment was already out. So the Bradleys were out. All our stuff was out in the sea. And I guess we had to wait for the carriers to kind of turn around.
Okay.
To the Kuwaiti side. But we were in that predicament of you can't leave. You gotta be within 50 miles radius.
Right.
Every 2 weeks, they kept telling me, hey, 2 weeks we leave. So from October all the way up to like the end of January, we were like that, thinking like, man, in 2 weeks we're leaving, in 2 weeks we're leaving. So it was kind of heavy on the mind.
Right.
It's all a mindset. You know, when it comes to that kind of stuff, it's a mindset. I was younger. I wasn't equipped with the ability that I do have today when it comes to like the mindset. So, like I said, I was scared, especially when you start doing all those papers of your will, you know, that kind of stuff. It kind of hit you a little bit, like this is the real thing,
right?
But not 100%. Even when you're in the aircraft on the way over there, it still doesn't hit you. Still, you're reaching Kuwait and they tell you to close all the blinds of the airplane, turn the lights off. And as soon as you get off, you see all these special forces guys in the Humvees with these 50 calibers. And it's like, oh, damn, you know, this is it. We're here. So, yeah, it was definitely a stressful process.
Louis, if you would talk to us about what it was like being a part of that invasion into Iraq. Talk about what it was like crossing that border and what that experience was like for you.
Yeah, it was definitely a strange and weird moment, exciting and scary at the same time. It's just the smell when the Bradleys were on top of big trucks that we call hammocks so we can move faster.
Yep.
So once we got in the convoy, it was a long convoy. It was miles and miles and miles and miles of equipment. But I do remember that day that we actually crossed the border. It was an immediate change from Iraq, from Kuwait to Iraq. I remember seeing all the knockdown fencing, concertina wire all over the place. You start seeing black smoke immediately. So it was kind of surreal in a way. It kind of looked like a video game that once you cross this imaginary line,
Yeah.
everything just turned gray and dark and scary in a way. You know, like I said, I was scared, but I was trying not to show it. So my guys, when you're in charge
Yeah.
of a team, you gotta kind of gain that strength and courage from where you don't have it, to be honest. But yeah, it was a surreal moment. I'm glad that I was able to participate in it, and glad to especially come back and be able to tell the story and tell my grandkids all the war stories that I, well, maybe not all of them because they might get scared because there's some crazy ones,
Right.
uh, but yeah, I'm just glad that I was able to be able, especially from the first wave when the war started. But yeah, it was just a weird moment. A weird moment crossing that border from Kuwait to Iraq, and the smells. That's the
Yeah.
biggest thing. The smells and the dryness and the gray of the sky and all that stuff. I still remember like it was yesterday.
Louis, talk to us about what the day-to-day life was like for you as a soldier at the beginning of the Iraq War.
It was a lot of weapons cleaning. You're constantly cleaning your weapon, going over drills, battle drills. Whenever we had time, we went over close quarters combat drills, how to clear a room, how to move through a city where you have high risers, and just a lot of refresher training. We did a lot of shooting, kept ourselves marksmanship sharp.
Yeah.
And just trying to kind of bond more with my team.
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing. I remember all of us had a final letter between our chest plate in our ranger vest. We had a letter that if everybody knew that if something happened to me and at least the torso piece of the body still intact, to get that letter out of my chest and kind of mail it to my family. The same thing with the dog tags. We put the dog tags in the boots. You have your dog tags around your
Right.
Your neck, and then you also have the dog tags wrapped around your waist, just in case again there's something
Right.
dramatically happen and we get blown up, and at least they can recover that piece and they know that it was from you. But that kind of stuff, that we were preparing, always making sure, hey, you got your letter? All right, everybody got the letter in your chest plate? Good. You got your dog tags? Good. Weapon clean. Making sure that the magazine springs were good springs,
Okay.
so the weapon don't try not to jam. Make sure that the equipment was good where you wanted it. Back then, it was a lot of weapons of mass destruction, and I say air quotes because we didn't find anything. But so we had to have our mask ready. I think for the first month and a half, we were in MOP 3 a lot. So that was hard because it was already over 100 degrees, and once you put all the MOP gear inside a Bradley, the Bradley is like an oven. I mean, it was some type of AC, but it was just warm air, to be honest. So that's the kind of stuff that we were doing when we were back in the operating post.
What do you remember most now when you think back on Iraq, or what stands out to you the most?
I would say I have two sides though. If I go into the happy, uh, if I can say peacekeeping side of it, uh, because it was a mix of war with peacekeeping at the same time. Some of the good memories that I do have from Iraq, there were some villages that actually received us. They were happy. The kids, the elders invited us inside, and they were super grateful that we liberated them
Yeah.
from oppression, at least temporarily.
Right.
Um, but on the war side and the ugly side, I would say that maybe just people that got hurt in our firefights that were just collateral damage.
Yeah.
Because you always have that. You try to minimize, but there are some times that, especially when we got ambushed. I mean, they could ambush us when we were doing a show of force patrols within the cities or villages. So you have to protect yourself. You have to return fire. And at the beginning of the war, the um, ROE was pretty lax.
Right.
Middle of the war, middle of the deployment, they kind of changed. You don't shoot unless you get shot at first. But at the beginning was if you feel threatened,
Okay.
um, you're allowed to use your weapon. And yeah, I mean, there was some times that we had to use that weapon for things that we thought that they were danger to us or
Right.
any of my guys. So yeah, it's a weird, strange, because you see these movies. We grow up watching these war movies,
Yeah.
and up to a point, there's some movies that are pretty realistic, but then there are others that that you watch and now you think and you're like, man, this stuff doesn't do that.
Yeah.
It's not like that. But that part, that human side, when you think about, you got to put yourself in the shoes of the person that is seeing all these foreigners coming into your country, getting you out of your home, getting you out of your village, changing your life completely, turning your life upside down. You have to sometimes put yourself in their shoes. So those times that we got rocks thrown at us, we got spitted, people were spitting on us, telling us stuff when we were doing, show of force patrols.
Yeah.
Back then, I wasn't thinking, like I said, the way I think today.
Right. I'm sure.
But I don't. I understand now why they were doing what they were doing,
Right.
and what they still do, because right now there's a lot of places that unfortunately Americans are not welcome. Um, so yeah, but like I said, I'm glad that I was able to live that period of my life, and I was able to come back, alive.
Absolutely. Thank you for talking to us about the Iraq War, Lewis, and we thank you for your service to our great country.
Thank you, appreciate it.
What was it like coming home from Iraq?
Sorry, it was a difficult transition. Uh, I came back earlier because I got hurt in Iraq and I couldn't wear my Kevlar or my vest because I had a spine and my neck. I couldn't put pressure on it.
Okay.
So I came back earlier, and it's just weird that when I came back, I came back and I was walking through. There was some people I remember, some TSA that they saw my CIB, they saw my badges, and they recognized. They knew about the military, and they recognized. So, and I remember them kind of escorting me all the way to the gate of the airplane, uh, telling the person in the at the gate, coming through, U.S. soldier coming through.
Yeah.
But once you leave the airport, it was nobody waiting for you. It was not.
Yeah.
It was just a regular day in the office. Um, so it was kind of disappointing in a way because all the stuff that we did, that we were doing, coming back home, and I don't know. You just feel like people still don't appreciate all the sacrifices that the military do for for the freedoms that we get to enjoy over here every day. People don't think about all the stuff that we have here right now. You know how blessed we are by being able to live in this country, in the to the best country of the world, hands down.
Absolutely.
So you just feel a little bit unappreciated by by everybody.
Yeah.
By the 99%, since you only have the 1% of the population in the military. So that was disappointing, and that at least on that, and as well the transition. Obviously, all the stuff that I saw, that I did, all the those moments that I lived, uh, they kept replaying, and they still replay in my head until today. Um, so it was really rough. It was rough. It was a moment that I can probably say I was in the lowest I've been in my life. A lot of problems at home almost immediately. I used to see life here in the US, in Colorado, different. Every time I go out, go to buy groceries, go to Walmart, go to, it was just different, You're always hyper vigilant. I remember that everything that, you get, being so long in Iraq, um, avoiding stuff in the streets. If you see a pile or something and you pass by, you hope it doesn't blow up.
Right. Yep.
You're just waiting for an RPG to come out of freaking nowhere.
Yep.
I remember thinking about somebody grabbing a mortar tube and shooting mortar rounds into the city, because Colorado Springs is just a weird. It's the beginning of the Rocky Mountains, so you have a really nice mountain side, and then you have a really dry where the plains kind of start, and then you get to see Kansas, part of Kansas. So I remember seeing and saying to myself, it's like, man, I wonder why nobody go to the plains and grab a mortar tube and start shooting, that kind of thinking. It was just a weird thinking.
Yeah.
And until today, if I see something on the road, I still thinking. If I go over, I still thinking.
Right. Yep.
If it's gonna blow up, or because you still got. I don't know. Maybe I'm just exaggerating, but you still gotta have that, because anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. Can do a freaking ID using stuff from home. They can Google it how to do it.
Yeah.
So I still have that hyper vigilant way of life. I have 360 security in my house, cameras all over the place. Still live. I'm not able still until this day to sleep peacefully, because I want to be alert at night. I don't want to just close my eyes and open my eyes, ready to go to work. I want to be able to hear stuff. It's just still have stuff around my house strategically placed in case that somebody tried to come into my home and So that kind of stuff that I guess will stay with you forever.
Right.
Because I do remember I used to run a PTSD group with a different organization here in Orlando, and I remember listening to, it was a bunch of Vietnam veterans in that group, and I remember them telling me stories about doing this stuff that I'm still doing today.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Vietnam, and
Right.
that was
Yep.
back in 2015. So we're
Yep.
talking about 40 some years, 30 years, and they still doing feeling like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know. It's just something that I guess is gonna stay with me until the day I leave this place.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't. It certainly doesn't just go away. That I
No,
do
no,
know.
not at
Louis,
all.
Louis, transitioning out of the military, what resources did you utilize that were helpful to you?
Um, I will say that the only thing that was ACAP, they used to call it back then, the process to transition from military to civilian. And I will say that the only thing that I got from them was writing a resume, because they really
Okay.
didn't help me in doing anything at all. I didn't even know that I was, because I came out of the military with a percentage of disability.
Okay.
And I didn't even know that I qualified for vocational rehabilitation and program. In order, I could have went to school for free. And I didn't know. I even got a loan, a student loan. The school didn't even tell me. They just kind of tricked me into getting a subsidized loan,
Yeah.
even though they knew that I was a veteran. Um, so yeah, I stayed with that student debt for no reason, because I did qualify for vocational
Right.
rehab back then. So yeah, I was kind of lost. Like I said, I got out in a period where I think that it wasn't that much of support like they might have now.
Right.
So it was a lonely feeling. I remember that I felt when I was leaving the military with no kind of scare of what I was gonna do. I really didn't have any direction on what to do, or if it was somebody to help me out, to give me assistance.
Yeah.
I had to kind of look for that stuff myself. It wasn't like the military gave me a bunch of resources, this paper full of resources of
Right.
people that I
Yeah.
could contact or talk to. Um, so yeah. Now it might be different. I don't know.
Right.
Um, but yeah, it was a very a lonely, scary, time when I got out.
So you would end up, like you said, going back to school and you'd get a bachelor's in computer science and a master's in cybersecurity. How did that all come about for you? Why did you choose to pursue cybersecurity?
So I started when I got out. The first thing that I tried, I was thinking about, okay, what from the civilian life, what is gonna last for a long time, that I know that it have a lot of upside potential when it comes to the employment. So I came out with the conclusion that it was gonna be either something that had to do with the health industry, or something that had to do with computers. So I tried to do health industry. I tried to be a medical technician,
Okay.
but quickly I found out that I didn't like sticking needles on people. So I was like, you know what, it's not for me. I'm not gonna like this. So that's when I kind of pivot into the IT side. So that's when I decided to just to go IT and go, learn about computers. I enrolled in some courses about where they teach you everything about a computer, how to build a computer, any other systems like servers, and you learn about networks and this and that. So that was for the associates, and then I moved into the bachelor's in computer science, and just kept going. Just making sure that I kept paying attention to what was going on in the industry.
Okay.
Like, what were the threats that were coming out? And that's when cybersecurity started to kind of get hot back then. You know, a lot of stuff in the news, breaches, data got stolen from this company. So I started kind of doing research when it comes to cybersecurity, because cybersecurity world is really there's a lot of options that you can pick and choose to do in cybersecurity. You could do cybersecurity like certified ethical hacker. You could do security and compliance. You can do networking. There's a bunch of ways that you can work in the cybersecurity field. And yeah, I just kept going. And I also had in mind that I wanted to go all the way down to get a doctorate in IT, but then at the same time I was like, man, I don't think I need it.
Okay.
And to be honest, I was kind of tired of school. So I just got to the master's. To me, that was good enough for the type of job that I'm doing right now. I'm still doing with the military, with the army, as a civilian.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's cybersecurity. You know, I think it's a good industry to be in. You're really super marketable, especially if you have the proper certifications. The money's good. There's a lot of stress, you know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stress in that industry. But yeah, I think that's one of the best decisions I have made in my life so far. You know, deciding to go that route of the IT cybersecurity field.
What would you say to any other veterans that are considering going back to school, but either they're nervous about that, you know, the time that they need to put in, or just kind of managing it with life?
I would say first thing, just start doing research. Do research. Do a general research first, because at first you don't know. So do a general research first, and then you can start honing into what specific thing you want to do in the cybersecurity. There's a lot of information, good websites that can help you. Like if you go to like ISC Square or CompTIA, they have like a roadmap of cybersecurity, and they tell you exactly what type of certification you do need for this, what certification you need for that, for cloud, So I would say first, start doing a general research in cybersecurity. Just search for cybersecurity roles, available roles, jobs, and then just search for cybersecurity threats, so you can kind of get used to the lingo, the terminology, and stuff like that. And then just once you find something that you think that you might like, just hone into it and get the certification that you need. It's all about certifications in cybersecurity field.
Okay.
Because right now, in order for you to touch a DoD system, you need a specific certification, like such a Security Plus or CEH. So I will say that you know, as a starter, do that. Do research. Start with the general research, and then just pinpoint some roles that you think that you might be interested in doing, and then just see what type of certifications you need in order for you to perform that role.
Thank you for speaking to that. So one of the really cool things I think about you, Louis, is you have so many different passions and so many different things going on in your life. One of them is you're also a published author. You wrote a book about dogs. Talking about different different jobs that dogs have, breeds, temperaments, so on. Talk to us about this book and why you wanted to write it.
So I always have this passion for dogs. I don't know. It came from, I remember a little Chihuahua that I had when I used to live in Puerto Rico that just came in the dog just showed up in my house. I remember my dad was working in Indianapolis, and he didn't like dog. He didn't want pets, but my mom took this dog while he was gone working in Indianapolis temporarily. So ever since we got that dog, and I saw how my dad changed from not wanting that dog in the house
Yeah.
to freaking loving that dog like it was probably more than us. Um, and I remember when the dog died, all the suffering. It was like,
Yeah.
wow. So from there, I just kept having pets, and always it was either boxer and chihuahua, boxer, chihuahua, boxer,
No
chihuahua.
kidding, yeah?
Always, yeah. I just like the energy of the boxer,
Okay.
the posture of the boxer. It just looks so. It just look. I don't know. It looked clean. It looked. I don't even know how to say it, but it's just a nice looking dog.
Yeah.
So then I started kind of seeing, while being a veteran, you start seeing all these things that dogs are doing, helping veterans with PTSD, helping other people that have some type of illnesses or conditions such as epilepsy.
Okay.
They can even smell cancer if you might have cancer. They can smell if you're having an epilepsy attack. Seeing the dogs in the military, all the stuff that they did in Iraq, seeing
Yeah.
the military police, seeing the Navy SEALs, seeing the special forces guy with these dogs. I mean, dogs are freaking jumping Halo from freaking 18,000 feet.
It's
With
absolutely incredible, right?
so it's and seeing what the I mean, those type of dogs that the military have, man, you just have to like stop and think. It's like those dogs don't care about what you could be in a firefight. And if that dog can go in the middle of the firefight and freaking launch to the other bad guy that is shooting at you, not caring if he's gonna get shot, just because he knows that that person is shooting at you. So he's just defending you, all the way to the end. It's just the passion the dogs have for us humans, the family. It's just something unbelievable. And I just find it fascinating that we have so many breeds, so many different types of dogs, and each dog have a different personality. Each dog have a different type of skill. Some dogs are good for this. Some dogs are good for this other thing. So, and I just find that it's true that the dog is the best. I wouldn't say the best man. How do you say it? The best man's friend. I would say is the best human friend. Um, yeah, I just love dogs. I have a Chihuahua, which is right here with me, sleeping.
Oh, let's see him. Oh my gosh.
Here's Muffin. This is my this is my my little princess here in the house.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah, her name
That's
is Muffin.
awesome.
She's 9, so I just love them. I just love dogs.
Oh my gosh, I feel the exact same way. We'll have a link down in the show notes and in the YouTube description of your book. The name of the book is My Fur Shine Superhero: How Dogs Help Us and the Many Advantages of Having One in the Family. So thank you for sharing that with us, Louis. Can you
You're
talk to
welcome.
us a little bit about what was the process like for you to write that book?
It was hard. It wasn't easy because it's a lot of research. It's a lot of research. But I'm sorry, excuse me. But during COVID, I always wanted to write a book, but I just didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to start it. So during COVID, we all had enough time to kind of think about a lot of
Yep.
things. So I started doing research during COVID, started writing during COVID, started interviewing different people during COVID. Um, and that's what I did. in COVID, I just saw so many people that were healthy getting sick with COVID, and this just 2 weeks later they were gone. So it's like, man, life is so short. You're here today, and you could be as healthy as you think you are, eating the
Right.
right foods,
Right.
doing exercise every day, but all of a sudden you get hit with this illness, and then you're gone. So I was like, you know what? All this stuff that I want to do, I'm not waiting. Tomorrow is not promised. You can only live today, but what is today? So I became a complete different person when it comes to taking action. The way I see things right now is just I plan it. Well, first I think it, then I kind of plan, but I execute like right away. I don't. I mean, some people might think that I might be crazy for some of the risks that I've been taking. Um, but I think that you have to take risk in order to
Yeah.
make it. Because if you don't take risks, I mean, how else are you gonna know? I don't
Yeah.
want to be 10 years from now thinking about, man, what if I would have made this decision? If I would have
Right.
took that
Right.
step, what would have happened? Maybe I would have changed my life. I don't like that what if
Yeah.
thing. I live with what I have in front of me today. Whatever I have control, and he created that habit in my life of taking action and of not thinking too much. Yeah, I do a quick overview of whatever I'm thinking, but once I see something that I think that it could be beneficial to my life path and my family, I just analyze it real quick and take action.
Yeah.
Take action. So that's what I keep telling people and young people. It's like, man, don't overthink stuff too much, because I used to be like
Right.
that. Don't overthink stuff. Just research it for a little bit, overview it, and if you think that is something that you might like, that you might want to do, just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Don't live with that regret later. That, man, what if? You don't want to live with that what if. We only have this life, so let's do the best we can to have a good life.
I think that's definitely great advice for any of us. Louis, I want to talk to you too. You work as a multifamily investor also. First off, I don't know where you find the time for all of this too. I mean, my gosh, but you work as a multifamily investor for the company Tactical Multifamily Investments. Talk to us a little bit about this work and how veterans can ultimately get involved with it too.
So that's a new venture. Again, a big step,
Yeah.
but I'm just executing. So
Yeah, you are.
I'm in autopilot. It's like I'm gonna try it out. If it works, good. If it doesn't, at least I tried. I've been talking to another veteran that used to be with me in Germany that I know him from over 30 years. His name is Alex Natal. So, saludo, Alex. So we've been talking on and off for the past 3-4 years about buying apartments, buying home, getting into real estate. But lately, I started doing some research. I saw the movement the multifamilies are having, and the difference between multifamily investment and regular single family
Okay.
home investments. So once I saw the differences and I saw how much upside multifamily have versus single family home, that's when I decided that I was gonna um, join a group. The group name is Multifamily Mindset. I think this was God sent, to be honest. It's just like we just went to a conference in Orlando called Peak Partnership, and the type of people that you meet in these conferences, the stories of their life, how they were able to change their lives, their family lives through multifamily is just super uplifting. It's just something magical. The way that, like getting surrounded by this type of people, because people think, okay, an investor. They think about, this people, this person have a lot of money. They probably
Right.
think that
Yep.
they're better than you, and you might have a few of those out there, of course, because money change people. Um, but the people that I met in this weekend, through this group, is just the passion and the stuff that they're able to do, the helping the community. That's the main reason that I'm doing this, because this is just a fast track way of me kind of stop working for the government in a way,
Okay.
um, and kind of enjoying life. And there's a lot of projects that I want to do that I have in my mind right now. I was talking to somebody, to a broker this morning, and I told him about I have this vision of creating a homeless veterans village here in Orlando, Florida, where I can get tiny homes
Okay. Yep.
and provide those homes to homeless veterans in this area with a program where I can have them for maybe 6 months. At the same time, clean them up, get them on the right path. Teach them how to do job interviews, get them job interviews. If they need a service dog, being able to provide a service dog to
Right.
them. It's just a vision that I have that is in my vision board right now, right here, and I think that that's my why. They teach you
Yeah.
in
Yep.
multifamily mindset to have a why you want to do this. You gotta have a why, so whenever you face adversity,
Mm.
you don't just buckle and
Yep.
back up. So once you have a why first, it doesn't matter what type of adversity you're gonna face or whatever comes up. You're gonna keep driving through that adversity, and you're gonna accomplish that goal that target that you set on, that you have in your eyes, in your mind, in your vision board. You're gonna accomplish it if you have that why. So that's one of my whys, and as well retire not retire, but to pay all the debt that my parents have. That's another why that I have.
Yeah.
They're getting older, so I want them to be able to live the life that they deserve after working so hard for us for over 30 years. And they still have a little bit left to pay their home. I believe they only have like $28,000. So I'm working hard so I can pay that off for them. But yeah, this is something that I wish I could let other veterans and teach. That's why I wanted to talk about this in this on this platform. So if any veteran out there have any type of question when it comes to this, it might sound kind of intimidating, but trust me, if you put the effort and you identify that why and you hone into this, trust me, this stuff can become second nature. And most importantly, having a good team around you. Us as veterans, as military, we have that discipline, that integrity, that loyalty, that drive when it comes to teamwork. And if you bring that into this type of space and have the same type of mentality that we have while in the military, you set yourself that mission that you want to close this deal. And
Right.
I, I think the military and veterans are the best employees that a company can get out there, just because that type of discipline that we all have. So,
Right. Yep.
So I wanted to, So if anybody have any questions, just reach out when it comes to cybersecurity or this new venture, multifamily investments.
Perfect. Thank you, Louis. There's more though. You've got more stuff going on. You've got so much.
Oh man.
Talk to us about your podcast. You have a podcast in Spanish called Chatting in Socks. What's the mission behind this show, and what inspired you to create it?
Another of those ideas that I had while COVID. I'm telling you,
Okay.
COVID, it was bad for the world, but for me, it was I don't know. I just kind of accelerated my thinking,
That's
and I
incredible.
think
Yeah.
it did that to a lot of people in the world.
Yes, it
I think
did. Yes.
COVID kind of expanded people's minds. People that never thought that they could do the same type of work from home kind of forced those companies that wanted to have that grip on you, and a lot of new entrepreneurs came out of COVID,
Yeah.
a lot of new ideas. So all that stuff that I was thinking during COVID, that's one of them. I wanted to do a podcast, and um, I started talking to a group of church that I go over here in Winter Garden, Florida, and we decided, we were like, they work in the media team within the church.
Okay. Yep.
So I was like, you know what? Let's do a podcast, guys. Let's talk about life. Let's talk about business. Let's talk about motivational stuff. Um, so we talk a lot, about everything.
Yeah.
To be honest, like this weekend, we have a show that we might bring a group of spouses where we just ask them about, just regular stuff about their husbands, and how they do life, and just stuff like that. We just want something different, and that's the reason that we decided to do it in socks. Like, let's do something different. Let's just pretty soon we're gonna start doing lives in YouTube, and that's where people are gonna be able to see us in
Okay.
wearing weird socks, and but yeah, it's just it's the public have accepted the show really, 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 really well, really
That's
good, and
tremendous.
we're really appreciative to for the support that everybody have given us. Um, so it's taking off. So I
That's
like it.
wonderful to hear.
It's a good hobby,
Yeah.
as you
Oh my
know.
gosh. Yes, it's so much fun. I absolutely love getting to talk to people, and yeah, there's so much growth that comes out of it too, right? It's
Indeed,
very cool.
indeed.
So we'll make
Especially me,
sure.
I'm an introvert, so I have to force myself
Same. Yeah.
to get out of this cocoon, I guess, if you want to
Yep.
say it like that. And it's something that you can actually it benefit you in your life as in
Yeah.
general. Getting outside your comfort zone, and getting to talk to people, getting in front of the camera,
Yeah.
getting in front of a microphone. Uh, is definitely a skill that you develop naturally with time. As more you do it, more used to it you get.
For sure. Yep.
And that's something that I learned by doing this podcast. I also attempted to do a YouTube channel. So I started doing a YouTube channel, going to restaurants and small businesses here in the Central Florida area, and kind of interviewing them, kind of giving them free marketing.
Okay. Yep.
I only did 3 videos though. That was too hard for me, because I was doing all the editing, I was doing all the recording, I was doing
Yeah.
everything. And
Right.
you really you can't have all the hats, but at the same time I didn't have enough funds for me to hire somebody to edit my videos. So
Yeah.
that's one of those businesses that I tried, something that I wanted to do, and I just put a pause on it.
Yeah.
So in the future, hopefully I'm able to pay for somebody to edit those videos, and maybe I can retake that, because I really like going to
Yeah.
pops and mom shop restaurants in Central Florida, and kind of give them free marketing. Small businesses do need that type of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. That's true. That sounds really cool. We'll make sure that we link down to, we'll have your book down there. We'll have the podcast down there too, so everybody can stay connected with you and hear and read all the great things you continue to do, Louis. I want to
Thank you. Thank
shift gears here just a little bit and talk to you about your fitness. Talk to us about how fitness, has been healing for you on your journey, and ultimately how you found Catch a Lift.
So fitness in my life is pivotal. That's crucial. I have to. Uh, Thankfully, as an infantry guy, you kind of get used to doing exercise. Um, but thanks to fitness, even though I do have injuries from the military, I'm able to kind of strengthen those areas a little bit more,
Right.
and being able to stop taking some medication. I hate taking medication. Um, I was able to kind of stop and put a pause in some of the medications.
Nice.
Just staying healthy. Just staying healthy. You know, I got some friends that have the same age, and sometimes I see them and I see them that they let themselves go, or
Yeah.
and I don't wanna see myself like that. So Catch a Lift provided me that support. Um, they have an awesome program designed to help veterans like stay on top of the physical fitness, nutrition. The support is incredible. Um, Everything that Lynn have done with this organization, it's super commendable. I really admire her. I had the pleasure to meet her a few times here in Orlando. Here in Orlando. So I don't know, without Catch a Lift support, because I've been with Catch a Lift for I think around 6 years now.
Yeah,
Without their support,
it's been several years. Yep.
I probably would have stopped going to the gym long time ago, or at least I would have took a break, then start again, then take another break, start again. Nothing consistent. But thanks to Catch a Lift programs, I've been able to stay consistent with my workouts and improving my posture, because you're strengthening your muscles and stuff like that. And the your mood, it make you feel better with
Oh yeah.
yourself.
Yep.
Um, so it's just there's no words to put the gratitude that I have towards Catch a Lift.
So you recently completed the 3-week fast track wellness program, Lewis. Talk to us a little bit about that experience and what that was like for you.
It was pretty normal when it comes to, because I kept in touch with the coach, kept using the programs from Catch a Lift, Strength Leap um, program. So to me, since I'm already used to it,
Yeah.
to this type of program to follow, it wasn't nothing different. Um, the only difference that I see now is that I kept in touch a little bit more with my coach than before, which that was good, because we were in, talking to each other every
Yeah.
week,
Yep.
checking your progress, if I had any question. So that was different. So that's something that I really appreciate and I enjoy doing during this few weeks. But I think it's like one of the question was like, I think was the last question. What can we do to better the program, or to what can we do better? And I put in there straight up, it's like, to me the program is perfect. There's nothing else that you can actually. I mean, you can always add some stuff, but to me, it's like perfect the way it is. I think that's what I put. 100% honest. But
Well, we're so glad to have you as one of our veteran athletes, Lewis. Truly, it's an honor to
thank
have
you.
you in the program. I do have one last question for you today.
Sure.
What does being a Catch a Lift veteran athlete mean to you?
It means everything, and I know it sounds cliche, but I don't even know where would I been if it wasn't for the support that Catch a Lift have provided to my life for all these years. Um, you just have to. It's just weird to say it. People might say, they're just another veteran organization helping veterans and this and that, but it's no, it's different. It's different. Um, it's different the way they care.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. They care. It's an organization that stay connected to you. It's not like they help you with this and they just Okay, just
Right.
enjoy it. They stay connected with you. They stay supporting you along your journey. If you have any questions, they're always help. They have programs, they have workouts, they have nutrition, they have help with nutrition if you need it. Um, so it's one of those things that I do have in my life that I'm always speaking about. When I meet a veteran, I always talk to them about catch a lift. And a lot of people, unfortunately, don't know about it.
Right. Yep.
You know, um, so yeah, I just love being a spokesperson for the organization wherever I can. I really do.
We certainly appreciate that, Louis, truly. And just on a personal level, it was an absolute pleasure getting to talk to you today. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you. Likewise, likewise. Thank you guys for this opportunity. This means a lot to me. Being able to talk in this platform, and like I said, I want to make myself available to any veteran out there that they've been thinking about cybersecurity career. They have any type of questions about life, questions about staying motivated, uh, whatever. I'm here. If you just want to talk, if you need somebody to talk to, I'm here again. If about investing, anything that we talk about today, I'm available. So please reach out, follow me in my social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and let's stay connected and let's support each other and let's pour into each other.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
the biggest.
Thanks for tuning in this week's episode of Coach's Corner. We're so grateful to have the opportunity to connect with our members and heal through the stories of our veterans. A special thank you to our guest today, Louis, for sharing his story and light
Thank
with
you.
us all today. It was so much fun and an absolute pleasure. Don't forget to join us every Wednesday live at 1 p.m. Eastern on YouTube for a chance to win Cal Swag and to chat with your brothers and sisters. If you liked today's episode, please be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and leave us a review on your favorite streaming service. Until next week, keep it real and stay Cal strong.
See ya. Take care.